Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. It's Thursday night, the 13th of August. These are the charts of the day. Well, another weird day, but a nice trading day. Markets were down early, then they rallied, and they came down. It's like a weird market jump. They don't know what to do. But bottom line is, tomorrow's a Bradley turn day. It could be an interesting time. We'll see what happens. We're in mid-August in a market that had been dropping. It's going to be intriguing. But look, every day we find stocks that are moving. Let's show you some of the better ones. ABMD, literally from last October when it was under 22, has gone up to 110. And that was the high today, 110.68. It closed 5 points off that. It was still up 510, but on a short-term basis, for a stock to go from 65 to 110, I wouldn't be aggressively buying the stock here, but if momentum continues, you can see that this could be $135, $40 stock. So worth keeping an eye on, particularly if it pulls back, consolidates, maybe due for that. Just wanted to show you how strong it's been with a great volume and good technicals. Now AIMT, new issue, best shown on the 15-minute chart, and you'll see that after the IPO price and the spike up in the original, then it can pull back and retest. We now have a long consolidation. The falling wedge broke out today. It pulled back from resistance towards the end of the day right here. Watch this level about 26, 65, 67. We get to that, we can see a $28, $30 stock very quickly. AQP, well, you can AQXP, monster, exploded, of course, and pulled back, of course. Now, what I want to point out to you, folks, is to keep an eye and a close eye on the 15.5 range. Now, obviously, it's 20. That's 5 points from here, but there's a lot of room in here. Let's just say that over the last few days, we've seen the stock very volatile, and if it's forming some sort of wedge in here, it could go. Now yesterday was kind of an inside day on lower volume. Today it picked up just a little bit. More importantly, the stock spiked from 16.32 to 22.47. That's a $6 run, and backed off a couple points, but it was still up to 68 or 15% and 5 million traded. So let's see if we can get any follow through. Your short-term targets are 30. And then we'll call it 33 to 35. CALL. Well, I was pointing out to you over the weekend, this stock is forming a beautiful base pattern. And you can see that it popped, I think that was yesterday, excuse me. Today it popped through resistance, taking out this zone, reaching up to about the 875 area, which is the high back in November. We get through here, we could see a quick pop that tests, the 9, let's just say 875.9 is resistance. What I'd be looking for would be something up in that zone around 10 3/4, 10.85. So let's see what we can get with that one, and whether or not we're able to get a nice rally going through on this one. Nice base. You need to see some more volume, but you can see the last 5 sessions in a row, including a gap. Now, EROS has just been phenomenal. The run here from 17 to 37 saw it then going to a pullback consolidation, but twice held 32, 35 to 32.80 in that zone, the 32.5, give or take a quarter zone. Yesterday it popped, today it followed through and actually went high, went up above the, hold on one second while I delete this. Yeah, you can see that it went above that declining top line and broke out. Closed above it. The volume picked up sharply. This looked like a stock, and it did get to mid-channel, but it could pull back a little bit. But I'm thinking this is going to be in the high 40s before not too long. Keep an eye on this. Momentum is tremendous. EZCH. Well, yesterday we had this on our top stock list as it broke out, and today it had a beautiful follow-through. Keep in mind that the resistance right here could thwart the advance. We could get a pullback. Look for either one of two things: a consolidation, low volume pullback-flag type setup, or a run to resistance up around 22.5, at which point it then may pull back. If it pulled back first, then 22.5 to 23 would be your target zone. But a very strong surge with a breakaway gap has me thinking this one's turned the corner. There is a big zone of resistance up in that 22.5, 3/4 range, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. FIX has been phenomenal all year. Since October, when it was 12.5, it has run to 30. Now the pullback this week brought it back to this zone, which I now consider support. So if you watching the stock during the course of the week. Keep your eyes and stop under 27.25 area. And then what we're looking for is to take out 30.25, 30 here, and run us into the mid-30s. Now GoPro, I want to show you this because unusually when I see a spike down through the moving averages and then a reversal with an island reversal. This is an island reversal because of the gap here and the gap there, leaving an island bar. But that's also a tail because it tailed off of the 54 range and got up to today almost 61. So 7 points here, and it is near resistance and the moving averages. So I would expect it to back and fill. If it doesn't, expect to run quickly to 65 and then a target of 69.5, 70 is my targets. If this is 1 and 2, this is 3 and 4. We should see another wave coming. Now EZCH with the explosive move has pulled back, popped here with not a lot of volume, and then pulled back. And today broke out, the volume picked up, and didn't quite have enough energy to get through the 15.25 range, getting up to 1480, and it did back off to 14.25. It was only up 77 cents, 5.7%, still pretty good. So right now the support's around 12, the resistance is around 15.5. We have to keep an eye on this one because the technicals look good, and if it does thrust and take out 15.25, it could fly. SUNE, interesting action here. You can see that after a big spike down on monster volume, it spiked up in a big reversal day yesterday and got the follow through I was looking for, but it double topped in that range at resistance, which I expected. Now I want to show you something on an hourly chart. This looks like an inverse head and shoulders, doesn't it? So if you look at the left shoulder and the head, this is the right shoulder forming it here. What I'd be looking for is can the stock get above 16.25.30 range? And if it does that, you measure the head to the neckline, which gives you about 5 points, and then from here you got 19.5 up in that zone up here. So my targets are 17.5. If it gets to, of course, this is a very important level around 15.5. 15.5 will get you 17.5, maybe as high as 19.5 or 20. But make sure that you have a stop in play underneath 14.25. I think the symmetry of this pattern, if broken, could lead to a much lower level, maybe a full retest. So careful here, but a nice reversal, particularly on the 15-minute, on the hourly chart. You can see that big spike off the lows with pretty good volume. And the technicals have turned positive too on the 15-minute chart, on the hourly chart. The 15-minute, the daily chart, is showing good technicals and slight turn, but not enough yet. However, I believe this is an important turning zone, and we shall see. Now, W was phenomenal. I just want to review this. We put a swing trade on a breakout and the intraday pullback around 43.5, and within a day and a half, this stock reached 56.84, 16 points. Pretty amazing, but we'll take it. And the top of the channel was tagged before backing off. So getting up to 56.84, it pulled back about 3.25 and closed still up 463 or 9.5%, but it was up much higher. And the volume is tremendous up here, leading me to believe we should go into a consolidation in this zone. We shall see. SUNE, one more last one, looking at the 15-minute chart. New issue that came down and then exploded, pulled back and formed a coil here, and then popped to retest the highs. Now at this point, what I'll be watching for, can it get through 43? And can it hold this line? Because that, my friends, is important trend line support. So watch this in the next day or two to see if it does hold that and run. If it does, I'm looking for something in the high 40s and low 50s eventually. ZYNE, that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.